The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Insights. I'm Erica Fernandez, and I'm joined here today by two members of the Alpena Area Chamber of Commerce, Luciana King and Jackie Krawchak. Thank you, ladies, for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So today's topic, we are talking about the 4th of July parade, and there's been a lot of discussion about new management and what's going to happen, what the result will be. But tell me, how long has the parade been under the management of the chamber?
So I don't know the exact answer to that, but I have been with the chamber for it's almost 9 years, and we've been doing it for much longer than that. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been something that the community has always looked forward to as well.
They have. It has changed even in the 9 years I've been here, though, because it's the Lafarge 4th of July parade because they sponsor it. They and some other organizations had a much larger role when I first got here of assisting with putting the parade on, and then that slowly dwindled down to just the Chamber of Commerce being kind of the managing organization for the parade.
Okay. And you mentioned that there has been some changes over the years. What are some of the more significant changes that you've seen from the parade?
As far as the parade goes, so, and I don't know, Lucianne, I don't know if you've been on the board as long as we've been discussing this. Actually, might have been discussing it before you joined the board even. So it's been in our discussions for a very long time, but knowing that eventually this was the direction that the chamber wanted to head, we looked at the product of the parade and we said it wasn't a very high quality product, and we thought eventually if we want to hand this off to somebody else, we have to have a product that somebody wants to take over. And so we've done things over the years to change the parade to make it a higher quality product. And some of the things include, it used to be a very long parade, and on that hot summer day, not everybody wants to be outside standing there for 2 hours. So we limited the amount of entries that were in the parade. We did have a fee for entries. We thought that might eliminate some of the people that just kind of stepped up the day before and said, hey, I want to be in the parade, and didn't put a lot of effort into their entry. We made different rules that people would follow. No spraying the audience with water.
Safety.
Safety rules that we changed. We just made a lot of little changes to increase the, I guess you could say, viewing pleasure for the audience and the organization of the parade.
So you guys have always kind of had it in the back of your mind that you will eventually hand this off to another business or organization?
It's been an ongoing process, and that was the end goal. It's still a community parade. It belongs to the community, so we wanted more of the community to be involved.
So why suddenly has the chamber decided to kind of hand off the responsibilities?
So each year the chamber has a new board. You have a couple of people that go off the board and a few new people that come on. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve with these ongoing projects. And so each year you might have to talk about the issue with the incoming board members, make sure everybody's on the same page. We really never had a board member that was adamantly opposed to this direction. It was more of just a learning curve of how we would accomplish it. Each year we would try a few different ways. Like one year we tried to get service clubs to help. One year we tried something with different volunteers. I mean, we've just tried different ways to either hand it off or to change the way it was managed. And it eventually just got to a point where we had tried everything we could possibly think of. And we just set a deadline for ourselves and said, okay, by the February board meeting, we would have a solution to this kind of, I don't want to say nagging program, but it really was taking away from some more important things that we wanted to be working on.
Yeah. So we know that Performance Soccer will now be taking over, managing the parade. As far as qualifications, what were you guys looking for?
Community-minded individuals or an organization that has definitely the community in mind. Okay. You know, we don't want it to go, we've worked hard to get it to where it's at and be as organized as we could, and someone that we could trust to take over that organization and keep the parade for what it is and make it bigger and better in their own way.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you guys are confident that the performance soccer will do that as well. And just keeping to the natural tradition of it. So since the Chamber will not be managing the parade, what other things can the public expect from you guys?
Well, a couple of the things that are on our strategic goals for this year, and actually probably moving forward, are workforce development, and educational attainment. So we can now take the staff time that was devoted to the parade and some of that energy and put it into these very important topics to our members, where we can start looking at ways we can increase educational attainment levels, and then we can also look at workforce development. So we've got this great gap of skills between what our businesses are looking for and what potential employees have, and they are having trouble filling jobs. And so those are just two examples of areas we now have a little more time and energy to put into those things, which at the end of the day, those are more impactful to our local economy. The parade is incredibly important, but we really feel the need to work on some of these really deep key issues in the community. Okay,
perfect. And so, like we mentioned before, Casey Stutzman from Performance Soccer will now be taking the reins on this. So I hope that this transition goes smoothly and that the parade is a successful one.
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, because coming up next, Casey Stutzman will join me in the studio. Good morning and welcome back, everyone. I'm joined here right now with Casey Stutzman. Casey, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Erica.
All right, so we're talking about the topic of the parade. So when the opportunity came up for somebody to manage the parade, what was your first thought?
Under new management, that sounds so official.
Yeah.
It does. You know, when it first came up, my wife and I had talked about it and kicked it around a little bit, and we didn't know a lot. It had come up, and I was just curious. I was like, well, what would that entail? What would that look like? And we had a couple conversations along that line as well. What would it really be like? What would it look like for a business to take it over? What would it look like in terms of how much man hours, how much resources? Like, what can we really expect? And there was a public meeting that was held a few weeks ago. And that particular evening, my wife went and represented Team Stutzman at the meeting as I was home with the kids. And she's like, you know, let's go to the meeting, let's figure out what's going on, and then get all the information, and then we can talk about it after. And you know, when she came home and we started talking about it, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer, honestly, with the support that the chamber is going to be providing and everything that they've already done. It looks like a pretty turnkey operation. I mean, they have the thing down to a science in terms of who needs to be where and how many volunteers here. Like, this is not their first rodeo. So, like, all the planning, all the hard work of figuring out how to logistically put it together is already taken care of. It just needed a home. And, you know, we felt like we could provide that.
So why do you feel like Performance Soccer is the business to kind of manage it now?
That's a great question. Yeah. You know, I think really it came down to, like, we are in a wonderful space right now because we have resources. We have space, we have staff, we have a very, very dedicated group of staff, and I hope they're not watching this and thinking like I'm volunteering all of them for this stuff, because it's their call. Maybe, no, I'm just kidding. But we have enough resources that we could just take the reins on it. You know, we have enough things going. We have space for meetings, big open space that we can use. We have, you know, someone who does our website and our social media and manages a lot of projects for us that, excuse me, would very easily be able to help put some of these pieces together. You know, we know a lot of people in the community. There's a lot of other organizations and businesses that we work with. It just seemed to be a good fit, and it seemed like something that we would be able to take on, and that, you know, we had the resources to do it. And that's, you know, one of the greatest things that I found, and we've only been open about a year and a half now, but owning a small business in a small town, like, it does provide us with resources that, you know, we wouldn't have if we didn't have a business or a place or a space or just trying to do something like this out of our home. So it was a wonderful opportunity for us to get involved with the community. And when we opened our doors a year and a half ago, one of our big, you know, mission points or things we wanted to do is community involvement. Now, at the time, we didn't know what that looked like, but I think one of the greatest things about small businesses in a small town is that they tend to be so community minded, and you see how many local businesses and organizations do amazing things for our town and our area, and this was our opportunity to kind of be a part of that.
Absolutely, way to jump on it and not let it slide away. So what can the community expect, since the parade now will have a new home? what can the community expect at this year's parade?
Well, we're going to be doing it on the 6th of July. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's a
Really?
bit
I mean, nothing. We, especially these first couple years, the goal is business as normal. We just want to get comfortable with it. We want to get our feet wet. There's going to be a lot of, we're going to be working with new organizations and new people and other businesses to make this happen and make it a go. So we just want to get comfortable with the whole thing and how it works. And so we really don't have any like big changes lined up. We don't have any, people can really expect business as normal at this point. It might be 2 or 3 years before we start doing Star Wars themed stuff or whatnot. But for now, we just, it's such a great parade. There's nothing wrong with it. It just needed a home. It just needed someone to kind of take management of it, if you will, put together meetings, collect registrations, just kind of get the ball rolling. So our big goal, especially this first year, is just to get to know the environment, get to know everything. Really very, very little changes. Business is normal, and people can expect the same great parade that they've always had, and the chamber is being so gracious, and they're really going to help walk us through this entire first experience.
Good.
Just to make sure that we know how it works and what's worked for them, and sticky points or challenging areas, and they're really working well to help connect us with some of the organizations they've worked with in the past, just so we can have a nice seamless transition. So
Perfect.
yeah, this year, expect a great parade and business as normal.
So are you guys looking for any support or help from any other organizations or businesses?
Absolutely. And that's, back to your other question earlier, that's one of the big reasons that we felt we were able to take this on, is this is not necessarily just like our venture. This is not something that we're just doing from start to finish, and this is still very much a community event. And there's so many opportunities for community involvement. Again, we just, wanted to be the ones to kind of get the ball rolling and just have a home and a place that can kind of organize and make sure things are moving in the right direction and help logistically put things together. So yeah, we totally would love support and help from anybody who wants to be involved. And that could look a few different ways.
Okay.
If people want to volunteer just their time, if there's, they want to be involved with, helping at the fairgrounds on the day and get everything set up. We have tons of spaces for time volunteers. If there's businesses that want to donate resources, just for example, if someone has porta potties that they're willing to let us use at different parts and sponsor and support in that way, or if there's businesses that want to do financial sponsorships for some of the other costs or things that might come up to put the parade on. So there's so many different ways that people can get involved, and we are so open to anybody, any organization, any business that wants to be a part of it.
So should they just contact you?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yep,
Perfect.
they can contact me directly.
All right. So you mentioned that there won't be any huge changes, but will there be any slight additions yet? Do you know?
Being so early in the game, as we start to get a little bit closer, we'll continue to have more and more sit-downs and meetings with the chamber in terms of, like I said, our big goal this year is to just get the lay of the land. We want to be really, really comfortable with how things run and what's been successful in the past before we start looking at making any big changes or anything like that. And that being said, I don't envision a lot of big changes because, another big reason we took this on is it's just not only is it a great event for the community, but my family has always thoroughly enjoyed it. We live right near downtown, so it's really easy and accessible, and we look forward to it every year. And I grew up downstate in a big city. We didn't have really cool, slice of Americana type things like this, and I love it. It's one of my favorite points of the year. 4th of July is an amazing day. It's a great day to be in Alpena.
Yeah.
And, it's such a cool and unique opportunity, and so we just want to make sure that continues. And
Yeah.
so for the first couple of years, we just want to do our best to make sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible. And then after we got some experience under our belt, we'll look at it and say, is there things that we could be doing better? Are there things that would add to the experience, and go from there?
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, because coming up next, 2 of Alpena Area Chamber of Commerce members will join us. Welcome back, everyone. We're joined here again by Jackie Krawcheck. So Jackie, go ahead and tell us, what part will the chamber hold in helping making the 4th of July parade a successful one for performance soccer?
Well, we have committed in this whole thing right from the start. We said we will commit to transitioning the parade to the new organization or business or whoever was taking it over. So we are committed to handing over all of our documents that we've used, all of the organizational tools that we've used, the layout for the setup, everything that we have will not only hand over to Performance Soccer, but we'll actually teach them and train them how we managed it using these tools. And so we're very dedicated to making sure there's a very smooth transition.
Yeah. So what was the response, or what has the response been from other organizations in the community?
So overall, the response has been very positive. So they trust the community in general, trust the chamber. We become an organization that they trust the decisions that we make and that we're doing it with good intentions and for the right reasons. There have been a few who are still questioning this decision and where the parade truly belongs and who its home should be. But I think that after they see the quality of the parade and that it's not going to hurt the 4th of July parade, I think that they'll understand we did make the right decision and that the parade is in very good hands now.
Yeah, and also Casey mentioned that you guys are willing to accept help from other organizations and businesses as well. So they can reach out to you if they need any help with that. So how can you, because I know that there was a lot of response from the community when they thought the parade was just not going to happen anymore. What can you tell the public to help reassure them that this is a positive change and not a negative one?
Well, it's absolutely a positive change. So for a couple of reasons. One, we have a great organization that is obviously community-minded, that stepped forward, or a great business, I should say, that stepped forward and said, hey, we'll do this because we care about the community. They saw it as an opportunity for themselves. It was an opportunity for anyone to have taken. And by them stepping up, it's not like we forced someone to take it over. So clearly they're committed to doing it. So the community will have a great parade, and like I said, we'll give them all the resources and tools to maintain the quality, and I wouldn't be surprised if they increase the quality over time of the parade. So there's that, and the other thing that I can tell the community, the positive that comes out of this, is that the chamber now has some extra time and resources to devote to other things. So not only do we have a new home for the parade, but we also are going to have other positive things going on through the chamber because we now have that time.
All right, and so now that you guys will be working together, how does it feel now to have kind of, they can hold your hand and walk you through the process, and so it's not just they're giving it all to you and throwing you to the sharks?
It's nice. I mean, if you talk to my wife, I need a lot of hand holding, especially with big things. That was a huge stepping stone in terms of making that decision, as we knew that we were going to be very, very supported the first couple of years, and especially the first year with the transition. And I totally understand and support the chamber's decision. As Jackie said, we're a thriving area, and we've seen a lot of growth and a lot of development, and the chamber has been at the forefront of a lot of that growth and development. And really, it makes sense for them to put their time and attention into those types of areas that only they can do. And we feel, I totally support, the decision for starting to look for, an outside organization or business to help out with the parade and to take that part over. And we felt it was a wonderful opportunity and a great thing for a local business or organization to jump up and do. So we were happy that we could be there and do it.
All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing how the 4th of July parade turns out. It's always a much anticipated event, so we can help reassure the community that it's a great change and not a negative one.
It'd be great.
Definitely.
All right, thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thank you.
That'll do it for today's Insights, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.